Okay.
So I know you've just started your assignment, so if you can just tell us a little bit before we start about what it's about, what sort of things are happening, who it's with.
Okay. So I'm teaching maths.
Yeah,
I was assigned to Derby School, and I am teaching three Year 11 girls maths in online tuition, as we're currently in the COVID-19 pandemic.
yeah.
Um,
So yeah, when you've picked this assignment, does it fit into your timetable well? Is it something that's quite convenient for you?
so you have complete choice over what assignments you choose to do on the Connect platform. So you can take your time browsing through, looking at what assignments will work with your university timetable. So my assignment is on Tuesdays, 5 till 6 p.m. I chose it because I didn't want it to coincide with any lectures, even if my timetable changed. Um, and it gives me a bit of time in the day to prepare for the tutoring in the afternoon.
Yeah, and there are a lot as well online assignments. They can tend to be like 5 to 6, where if you're going in school, they might be more mornings, afternoons, but you can slot online work around a bit more and suit what you want. Before your session, how did you feel about, I'm guessing you've never tutored before, or if you have, it might have been a while because of lockdown. How did you feel just before that first session or the night before, maybe?
I was very nervous before the start of my first session. I've been through the tutor training, and the standards I felt had been set very high, and I wanted to give a good tutoring session. I didn't want to, fall down and not
Yeah,
deliver a good tutoring session. So I spent a good amount of time planning the lesson. I followed the steps given in the training as well as I could. And actually, just before the session, I emailed my tutor lead, and she just gave me a 30-minute quick helping hand, actually learning how to use the Dharma platform, which is the
oh yeah,
platform that we use for teaching online. And that made me feel a lot more comfortable, as it was difficult to know, was I going to be putting things up and then they wouldn't be able to interact
yeah.
with it, or they wouldn't be able to see it. And having that little bit of extra help from one of the tutor leads was made me feel a lot more comfortable before starting my session.
Yeah, so even though it was your first session, you'd been on the platform before without a student, yeah. And you can
Yeah.
also, I think tutors can just log in and set up sample sessions as well. So even if you've not got someone from the tutor trust on with you, you can still do that and just look at any point if you want to clarify something on there. It's really good like that, yeah.
Um, so I did use the tutor trust training. I think the most important thing that they gave to us was the lesson plan, with the starter, main, do it now task, sorry, first, and
Yeah,
the plenary. I'm always following that structure to base my lessons off. And there's a lot of maths websites available. I often go onto BBC Bitesize, and MathsBots and other things, and I find resources on there. I like to use the snip tool. I snip a nice
yeah,
question in, put it in my PowerPoint, find the answers, and I slowly build my session from there. It's always worth noting what level your students are currently working at. And when you're planning the lesson, in your first starting do it now task, to put a range of questions in there so you can get a good idea of what level they're going to be working at in the session.
yeah.
And then you can tailor your teaching in the starter and main, to go a little bit faster through some points, or to take your time really explaining things if people's students were struggling at the start.
Yeah, I'm also a big fan of like snipping bits from here and there and putting them together and almost using other people's stuff and piecing it together like a magpie, really, to make your own super session between all the different things. Yeah. Just before you started your assignment, you have a meeting, you find out a bit about the school and the pupils you're going to be working with. Can you tell us a little bit about what you found out, what you knew before you went in or before you did it online?
So we had an introductory meeting with the school,
Yeah,
and within that meeting, we were told about when the assignment was going to happen, what level the students were at generally.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that assignment, from that meeting, we are assigned students. We're told what grade they're currently working at, and we're also told what they're trying to attain, where they're trying to get to, possibly if they have any learning difficulties or they're struggling on any
Yeah.
specific subjects, as well as a list of topics that the school wants us to cover. So you're quite well guided in terms of what you need to be tutoring and who you will be tutoring to.
Yeah. I'll also add there that even though you do find out a lot of stuff at the introductory meeting, that's brilliant. If you get out of your introductory meeting, anyone watching this, and you feel a little bit like you're still not quite sure, do get in touch with your coordinators, but also bear in mind that no amount of information you're given beforehand is the same as meeting them. As soon as you actually meet them, put faces to the names, everything will click in place, and all that stuff you've been given will make a lot more sense. So don't feel panicked if you come out of that meeting and you don't feel like you know them, because you've not met the pupils yet. So it is only a starting point as well.
So this was my first lesson plan, and my learning objective was to learn how to expand double brackets using FOIL or the grid method, and then collect like terms. So the first activity that I planned was a do it now task. So this was when my students first arrived. I just wanted them to get cracking immediately, and so I could gain an idea of their current level of understanding. So I made a bronze, silver, gold, and platinum questions, starting from some basic algebra, just a plus 5 equals 8. Could they do that? I just wanted to see, where they were at.
Yeah.
And down to the platinum was what we were going to be doing in that lesson today. And, if they could already complete that, then we'd work through a lot faster the material. And if they were struggling on the gold or silver, then I would work through slower.
Yeah, so you're using that to see the do it now task, how they're going to work in the session as well, that's really good. And also because you've got the bronze, which is a lower level question, hopefully everyone's got something they can do. So even if they don't get to the gold or the platinum, they're still going to come away from that task thinking, well, I got some of it, I'm partway there, which that's a really important thing as well for starting it off. Yeah. Thanks for that, Matt. Thanks for telling us about your first assignment, your first session even as well. I hope that you found it useful thinking about this, as well as other people find it useful watching it. And then we're going to come back to you and talk to you some more, aren't we, as well?
Yes. So hopefully I'll see you all again a bit further down the line, and I can tell you about how it's going, and if there's any developments, and if I've changed my teaching in any way. And good luck in your assignments.